Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I just wanted to go with how I'm feeling, and I'm just feeling really chill. So I want to do like an everyday makeup look, something that's super easy, that's going to be nice and simple, really casual. But I also got a few things in the mail, a couple things from PR, a couple things that I purchased myself that I really want to try out. So it's not going to be like a full face of new things. I'm just going to be doing like an everyday look using some staples as well. But there are a couple things that I purchased, like a bronzer and a blush from Kylie Cosmetics. I also bought a gloss from her, and I was really excited because I've heard a lot of good things about her formula of the new bronzers and blushes and also those glosses, so I'm super excited. I also got a new Covergirl mascara sent to me recently, and I opened up the wand and it just already looks like something that I would be into just based off of the wand, so I'm excited to try that out. Then I have like a makeup mist from Pixie that seemed really intriguing, and also these lip liners from Kokie Cosmetics. Aren't they so pretty? I swatched a couple on my hand when they came in PR, and they're so creamy, but then they dry down and they like wouldn't really come off my hands, which was a good thing, I'm assuming, for longevity on the lips, hopefully. So other than that, everything else you've seen before. I'm just gonna be, using some old favorites. Here's the before and after so you guys can see the exact look we're gonna be getting into. Again, I'm doing something casual, something everyday. That's just how I'm feeling today. So hopefully you guys are excited. Let's start off with the complexion. You'll notice my brows are not on yet, and that's because I'm gonna do them later. Usually when I'm not doing a glam look or when I'm not doing my eyeshadow first, I tend to just go straight into base makeup for like an everyday basis. I wanted to use this again. This is the Pixie Skin Treats Rose Flash Balm. Please excuse my crusty nails, by the way. I really need to redo them. I just haven't had time. So I really like this product. It's a moisturizer, primer, and mask all in one. I use it definitely more as a moisturizing primer. I feel like it looks really nice underneath makeup, and for fresh kind of makeup days, something like this works really well for me for my skin. Especially right now, it is still so dry and so cold where I live, so I love to add as much hydration as possible. So I'm just applying that all over the skin. It feels so good. And it smells like roses. I love it. I'm also going to go into this Organic Wear lip treatment from Physicians Formula. This is very similar. The packaging and everything is so similar to the Fresh Sugar lip treatments. The formula itself is not the same, but the packaging is like identical, so I feel like it's a good drugstore dupe for those fresh lip balms. On an everyday basis, I always wear sunscreen, and I've been using the exact same things that I've told you about in the past. I alternate between the Drunk Elephant Umbra Sheer and De-Bronzy. I mix the two. I've done that in a few tutorials, or I like the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Defense. This is also kind of like a primer, and it has sunscreen in it as well. I'm gonna use the Bare Minerals one today, and I just do like about one pump in my fingers, and I will massage it in my fingertips first to kind of warm up the product. Because there is zinc in here, zinc is a really great physical sunscreen, which means it sits on top of the skin and reflects the light instead of a chemical sunscreen, which can get into your skin and cause irritation in some cases. So I prefer to use a physical sunscreen on an everyday basis, especially under makeup. But as you can see, zinc causes a little bit of a white cast, so you really have to just take the time to work it in. Once you warm up the product and really work it into the skin, I feel like it just fades, but you do have to take the time to do that. And I also like to press the sunscreen kind of into the skin. I feel like I get the best results by doing that. All right, the skin is hydrated, it's sunscreened, so we are ready for foundation. I really wanted to use this again. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I wear the shade 420, and it is the perfect match for me. I'm just going to do one pump on the back of my hand, and I'm going to go in with my current favorite foundation brush. This is from Real Techniques. It's their buffing brush. I have not been able to find this brush sold separately. For me, I got it in a set. I will have the set linked down below. If any of you guys know where to buy it on its own, please let me know. I would love that. I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of foundation from the back of my hand, and I'm going to start to buff that onto the skin. I feel like the right side of my face is looking pretty good, and the left side has quite a few blemishes today. It's kind of weird how like one side of my face sometimes freaks out, and I feel like that's happened before, and I've always thought to myself like, oh, maybe it's my pillowcase, but I never sleep on this side of my face. I always sleep on this side of my face. Does that happen to anybody else? Like you break out just on one side, or is it just me? So after I kind of distribute the foundation pretty evenly all over the skin, this is where I like to take a tad bit more foundation on a sponge. And I like to go over the entire face with the sponge. This will just kind of get rid of any brush marks that we might have. It smooths everything out. I really love the finish that this gives. And you guys probably know now, this is how I apply most foundations. I go in with a brush first and then a sponge. It's my absolute favorite way to apply foundation. So instead of adding more foundation to the areas that I want more coverage, I'm gonna go in with a more full coverage concealer. I love this Bare Minerals Bare Pro concealer for days like this where I just feel like I need a little bit more coverage, but I don't want to add more foundation necessarily. So I have two shades here. I'm going to see which one will work better. Probably this one. I'm going to go in with this Fair Light Warm 02 shade. And I'm just going to dot this right over top of the blemishes. And then I'm going to take that second shade, which is Light Neutral. And I am actually going to apply this underneath the eye area. And I'm just going to focus it from this inner portion here, just along where I have a little bit more darkness. And now let's blend that out. I'm going to take the Real Techniques brush and actually just kind of press it around the product just to initially kind of distribute that. I might go in with a sponge after, depending on how well this blends out just with this brush. But I'm not wiping, I'm pressing it just to make sure that no coverage gets taken away from swiping the brush. I'm going in lightly with the sponge over the blemishes just to make sure that they're nice and blended out, I guess, around the blemishes. I love the coverage that that concealer gives though. It really just erases everything. And now I'm going to go in with a sponge underneath the eyes to blend out that concealer. And then I'm taking what's left on the sponge and just pressing it on the eyelid to cancel out any discoloration there. Alright, so I really am happy with how the complexion's looking. We're all nice and evened out. So now I'm going to go into some powder. I'm going to use the Thrive Cosmetics Translucent Matte Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD Setting Powder. And I'm just going to take this on a fluffy brush first. And I'm just going to use this to set the larger portions of the face, so the cheeks and forehead, and then I'll go in with the smaller brush for under the eyes in just a second. I love to powder the whole face, even on an everyday basis. I feel like that's the only way that I can really ensure that the coverage that I need is going to last, that my base makeup is going to last all day, that any powders that I blend on top are going to blend nicely. It's a really important step for me. Some people don't powder their whole face, but for me, like, I can't not. I have to. Plus, I feel like once you spray your face at the end, you get rid of any powdery finish, but your makeup's way more locked in and it doesn't feel sticky afterwards. I'm just going to make sure that there's no creasing under the eye area before I set it, and then I'm going to set it with a small brush just using the same exact powder. And I also like to set the eyelid a little bit as well. It always bothers me when my eyebrows aren't done, but for an everyday look, this is truly what I do. I'm going to go into bronzer now. I bought the shade Khaki, which I believe is the lightest shade in the range, and I'm really excited about it. Look how light this is. I'm really hoping that it's going to look nice on my fair skin, and I bought it for two reasons. I wanted to see how natural it would look on my fair skin for an everyday basis when I'm not wanting a super bronzy look, but I just want to add some color back into the skin. I wanted to see how it would work for that, and I also felt like it would be good to define the nose area because it doesn't seem too warm or orangey, so I'm excited about this. I'm just going to grab a fluffy brush and we're going to dip right into it. Look at the packaging on this as well. I think it's really cute. All right. I'm gonna start off with that much. I have no idea how pigmented this is. I'm just gonna lightly start to dust. Okay, in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, I prefer bronzers that will be a little bit more buildable versus a bronzer that's so pigmented that you can easily go overboard, because I feel like it's easy to go kind of heavy-handed with a bronzer, so I love when it's buildable like this. As you can see, it's already starting to add some color, but it looks like it fits my skin tone. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I kind of tend to go heavy-handed with certain bronzers, especially when they're darker, and it ends up leaving my face looking muddy in some cases if I am not careful enough. I'm obviously going down the neck as well, as always. Okay, I'm really liking how this is looking, and it's allowing me to really build up, and I'm loving it. I'm just gonna kind of dust it across the T-zone a little bit. I feel like it's light enough where I could really kind of dust it all over the face, and it would add a really natural looking bronze to the skin. She launched so many shades of the bronzers and blushes, so you really will be able to find a shade that works perfectly for your skin tone. But I just bought like one bronzer for now, one blush, just to kind of see how I like the formula, and maybe I will add to my collection later. Okay, I'm loving how this is looking if you can't tell. I know it's taking me a little bit more time than usual when it comes to bronzers, just to build it up to where I want, but as I'm building, it just looks like it's supposed to be there. Like it looks like my skin tone. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? I don't know. I'm so excited about that color. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go into blush now. This is the shade Pink Power, which I think was also the lightest shade of blush. I was just curious to see like how these two tones would look on my fair skin. So let's try this one out. Again, I kind of prefer a more buildable formula and a blush as well. You guys probably know I'm very heavy-handed when it comes to blushes too, so I'm just dusting that. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH06 brush. I love this for blush. And let's just see how this goes. Okay, so you can see the pigment, but it's definitely buildable as well. I'm gonna go across the nose and over the cheeks. And I'm really building this up because I love a good blush. It's a really nice, it almost looks more cool toned in my opinion. I'm just gonna take my powder brush and dust over the cheeks just to make sure everything looks nice and seamless. Okay, one thing that I will say, you guys, I'm noticing with the bronzer and the blush, and I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, I feel like it is, but I just feel like the bronzer and the blush blurred my skin even more. Because there's no sheen to them, they just kind of added the dimension that I wanted, and it seems like they're super blurred. Like, doesn't my face look really blurry? I don't know if this is making any sense. I'm seeing it in the mirror, and I think I'm seeing it in the viewfinder. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. Or maybe it's just not picking up on camera at all. I don't know. I'm gonna use the blush and bronzer for eyeshadow as well. I'm just gonna take the bronzer first on an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to work this into the crease and also underneath the lower lash line. You guys probably already know by now, this is my favorite way to do eyeshadow on an everyday basis. Just take whatever bronzer and even blush you're using, throw it on the eyes and throw on some mascara, and it seriously is the best eyeshadow ever. I'm gonna actually take that brush, kind of run it down the sides of the nose to see how that shade works as a little bit more of a contour. I really like it. I'm gonna put it under the lip as well. And then I'm going to take that same brush and dip into the blush. This blush is a very light toned pink. I feel like I personally reach for things that are a little bit more pigmented than this, but it looks very natural on my skin, which I do love, especially for natural makeup days like today. I'm taking more of the blush and just building that on the cheeks a little bit. Let's go into highlighter. For some reason, I really wanted a bold highlight today, so I grabbed this. It's the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter in the shade 250. And I'm going to take that on my Nabla highlighting brush, and I'm going to lightly start to build that up just around this area here, kind of above the brow and in a C shape. Right here, since we didn't do our brows, I also will kind of run it through the brow a little bit. The brows are looking crazy right now. I promise they'll look better in a second. I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other side of the face, and I do always like to bring it down on the front of the cheeks a little bit. We'll do the Cupid's bow down the center of the nose. And I am gonna just dust a tiny bit with the same brush on my eyelids. I'm really not gonna go crazy because I don't want it to be too intense, but I do want a little bit of a fresh shimmer on the lids. All right, this is where we go in and fill in the brows, which is something that I have been waiting for this whole time. This is where I feel like my makeup really starts to come together. I'm gonna take the Anastasia Brow Wiz in soft brown first. And I'm going to use this shade to just kind of map out the general shape of the brow. And I always make sure to flip the pencil over and comb through as I'm filling in the brow. That just makes it look way more natural as you go. Well, I was going to layer a darker color of brow pencil just to kind of add more definition, but since everything is really soft on the complexion, I think I'm just gonna keep this soft brown shade. I really like how soft everything is looking. Okay, so I think I'm going to assess the situation right now, add more bronzer and blush where needed, spray the face, and then go in with mascara, because just by looking at this makeup mist, I feel like it's a little bit more oily and I really want to drench the face in it. So I don't want it to smear or smudge my mascara or lipstick. So let's do that. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna add a tad bit more bronzer. Honestly, you guys, I'm loving this shade. If you have trouble finding a good bronzer for your fair skin, if you're fair like me, I really, really think you would like this. A little more highlighter. Just taking what's left on the blush brush and kind of adding that back to the cheeks. All right, let's go ahead and open this. This is the Pixi Makeup Fixing Mist. I think I've heard good things about this. I think. I've tried this one before. It's the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist, which is really good, very hydrating. So I have high hopes for this one. And it says that it has rose water in it, so I'm hoping it smells like roses. All right, I'm gonna shake up the bottle a little bit and then let's spray the face. That kind of spat at me. Whoa. Oh, I drenched myself. This is where the fan comes in handy. I'm just gonna press over everything super lightly with my sponge just to make sure it's locked in. It didn't really smell like roses as much as I wanted it to, but it did have a nice smell. Okay, now let's try out this CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. Here's what the packaging looks like. They sent me 2 of them. One is waterproof, and I personally do not like waterproof mascaras. I hate taking them off. So this is just the original one in the shade Very Black. And look at the brush. I'm excited about this. Okay, let's try this on. CoverGirl makes some of my favorite mascaras, so I'm actually very excited to see how this wears. Ooh, I'm already really liking how it's applying, I think. I'm kind of making a mess with it, but you know what it's reminding me of? It's reminding me of the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which I love. It just kind of has that thicker formula, which in my opinion is ideal for building volume. I feel like I'm making a big mess though on my eyelid using this. I'm just gonna apply a little bit to the lower lashes as well. Okay, I really love how huge my lashes look. Again, I feel like it was really messy on the eyelids. I felt like I got a lot of mascara everywhere. I'm gonna wait for it to kind of dry down. Let's do the lips. Then I'll go back and brush off the mascara marks that I got on my lid. But you guys, like, I really like how huge my lashes look. I love that kind of formula where it's a little bit thicker, like I said, because I love super voluminous lashes personally. All right, I'm gonna take a tissue and just wipe off any foundation that may have gotten on the lips. And I'm gonna choose one of these Kokie lip liners to go under this gloss. This is a shade Pink Mauve, and I feel like it might be really good under that gloss. Ooh, yeah, yes. Okay, we're gonna use this shade. It's 523 Pink Mauve. This is their retractable lip liners. And I don't know if you can see, but it has like a grippy thing, like a pencil. All right, let's give this a go. I'm gonna line and fill in the lips with this. I love how smooth the formula is. It has a very strange smell though, like a very chemically smell. I'm overlining the lips a little bit in the center. Okay, and now I can feel it starting to dry down. That color on its own is really pretty. I'm just gonna kind of let that set a little bit before I apply the gloss. Let's go in and buff off any mascara marks that we got on the lid, which are a lot, but they seem to be buffing off very easily, which is good. All right, now that I feel like the lip liner is set, I'm gonna go in with this gloss. This is the High Gloss from Kylie Cosmetics, and I picked up the shade Diva. She had some that were like clear with glitter in it, and she also had tons of shades of like the more opaque glosses, but I felt like this was a really good gloss for every day. So let's see how it looks over top of the liner. Oh, I feel like it's pretty over the liner. And I really like the applicator on it as well. These have the same scent as her lip kits, that kind of vanilla cupcake scent. And I really like how that looks. It's super glossy. I really like the color of it as well. I'm really happy with that lip combo. Let's set the eyebrows. I'm gonna use the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. This brow gel is one that at first I wasn't crazy about, but I feel like I've been reaching for it quite a bit. And I like it because it's not too crunchy. Sometimes I like a good crunchy brow gel if I really need it to stay all day long. This one feels a little bit more natural on the brows. And I also love the feathery effect that the applicator gives. I know I normally never do this after I've already set the face, but I'm going back in with a little bit more bronzer just underneath the cheekbones here with a smaller, more precise brush, just to kind of sculpt the cheeks a little bit more. Add highlighter in the inner corner. I almost forgot. I'm just gonna use the same Maybelline highlighter for this, and I'm also gonna take it right underneath the brows right here. All right, you guys, so that's it. This is my everyday look that I created using some of these new products. I must say, I really love how everything turned out. I feel really pretty, I feel really fresh, and I really enjoyed the bronzer and the blush from Kylie Cosmetics, as well as the lip gloss, actually. I'm really happy that I bought all of these. I feel like it allowed me to look really healthy, but you can't see the bronzer and the blush. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I go overboard, which I love for certain occasions. Like, I love to be so obvious with my bronzer and my blush, but I feel like the tones of these two just look like they're supposed to be there. I think I already said that, but I love how it looks on my face, so I'm excited about that. The makeup mist, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it melted things into the skin a little bit. I tend to like something that's a little bit more dewy. For some reason, this felt like once it dried down, it really dried down, which could be an amazing thing for longevity, but initially, I don't know if I'm obsessed with it. I'm gonna keep playing with it though. These lip lip liners I'm super excited about. As you can see when I applied it, I feel like they're beautiful to wear all over the lips as an all over lip color, and look at all these amazing shades. So I'm super excited to keep trying these. Kokie is a really affordable brand, so I'm pumped about that as well. This Exhibitionist mascara, yes, as far as my first impressions go, I'm very excited about this, you guys. We're gonna have to see how it wears. If anything smudges or flakes, I will let you know in the description box and I will warn you about it, but if not, this could be one of my new favorite drugstore mascaras. I'm very excited. I had a lot of fun with this video, and I feel like I'm used to doing either full face of nothing new, full face of everything new, or like a dedicated video to one product. This was kind of refreshing for me to just focus on a few new products, but then keep most of the products things that I'm familiar with. So I enjoyed this kind of video. Let me know in the comments if you did as well. That's it for today. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you for always coming back to my channel and for watching my videos. I love you guys so much. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I would love to have you join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and you can also be a part of the notification squad by clicking on the bell after you subscribe, and that'll just mean you'll be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays when I upload my videos. I would love to hear your feedback on this look as well, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!